Hey y'all, before I get started, I want to thank my sources, including reporting from KOB Channel 4, for providing key details on this case. This one is intense, and it's something the Santa Fe community won't forget anytime soon. Today, we're talking about Jeannine Jaramillo, who was sentenced to 60 years behind bars for her role in a tragic wrong-way crash that claimed the lives of two heroes, Santa Fe police officer Robert Duran and retired firefighter Frank Lovato. I'm going to walk you through what happened, the sentencing, and of course, share my thoughts. Let's dive in. On March 2nd, 2022, Jaramillo made a 911 call claiming she had been kidnapped at knife point by her boyfriend. That call set off a chain of events no one could have predicted. Police began chasing her vehicle through Santa Fe. Now, here's where things took a dangerous turn. Jaramillo drove onto I-25, but instead of going the right way, she went against traffic. Let me just say, this is something that makes my stomach drop. Driving the wrong way on a freeway is one of the most dangerous things you can do, and consequences that day were devastating. One thing I want to highlight is how dangerous wrong way driving is. The National Transportation Safety Board, known as NTSB, says wrong way crashes are often catastrophic because of the high speed, head-on nature of the collisions. In Jaramillo's case, it's clear her reckless decisions didn't just impact her, but caused irreversible harm to two families and the entire Santa Fe community. It's terrifying to think how preventable this was. We've talked about what happened, but I really want to focus on the two men who lost their lives that day because they deserve to be remembered. First, Officer Robert Duran. He became a police officer in 2015, but his commitment to serve didn't start there. From what I've learned, Robert had a huge heart and a deep desire to protect his community. That's the kind of person he was, someone who would literally put his life on the line for others. Then there's Frank Lovato. Frank was a retired firefighter, another person who dedicated his life to saving others. He left behind a family who spoke so beautifully about him in court. His grandson's words hit me the hardest. We will forever feel the emptiness during every birthday, anniversary, and holiday. That just broke my heart. I want to expand a little on what Officer Duran's sister, Angela Gamino, said. She spoke about their family being broken after his death. And y'all, that's something I feel needs to be talked about more. Grief like this doesn't just go away. It changes everything. When you lose someone so suddenly and senselessly, it shatters you. But Angela's strength stood out to me. She said she refuses to hate Jaramillo because she won't let her peace be taken too. That takes so much strength and grace, more than many people could find in her position. Then we had Robert's wife, Kathleen, asking for the maximum sentence, not out of revenge or anger, but for the protection of others. She knows her husband gave his life to protect people, and now she wants to make sure someone like Jaramillo doesn't get the chance to hurt anyone else. I really admire her for that. Now, let's talk about Jaramillo's behavior during sentencing because, y'all, I could not believe it. She interrupted Judge Mary Marlowe Summer multiple times while she was handing down the sentence. It's one thing to make bad choices. It's another to sit there in court and argue when you're being held accountable. At one point, Judge Summer told her, "Did you plead for mercy for your depraved actions? No, you lied. I'm talking." That moment really stood out to me. Judge Summer was not going to let Jaramillo derail the proceedings. She stayed focused on the victims and the impact of Jaramillo's choices. For me, Jaramillo's lack of remorse is telling. Instead of taking responsibility, she kept making excuses, and that speaks volumes. I also want to acknowledge how well the case was handled by the court and the district attorney's office. From Jaramillo's guilty verdict on all counts to Judge Summer's strong stance in the court, it's clear they took this tragedy seriously. Sometimes we don't always see justice fully served in cases like this, so I'm grateful these families got the accountability they deserved. 2 life sentences. That's what Judge Summer handed down. And y'all, let me explain why this is so significant. Life sentences means there's no time off for good behavior. Jaramillo will serve every single year of those 60 years behind bars. That's justice. This sentence also sends a message. Actions have consequences. When you lie to police, endanger lives, and cause irreparable harm to families, you will be held accountable. To me, this isn't just about punishing Jaramillo. It's about bringing some measure of peace to the families of Officer Duran and Mr. Lovato, who will carry their grief for the rest of their lives. I can't end this video without recognizing the sacrifices of our first responders. Officer Duran and Mr. Lovato lived their lives to protect others, and tragically, that's how they left us too. Their deaths are a heartbreaking reminder of the risks police officers and emergency responders take every single day for their communities. Let's never forget that. As I reflect on this case, I keep coming back to 2 things: the strength of the victims' families and the senselessness of this tragedy. 2 men who spent their lives protecting others were taken from their families because of one person's lies and reckless decisions. It's hard not to feel angry, but like Angela Gomino said, holding onto hate doesn't help anyone. What does help is holding people accountable, and that's exactly what happened here. I hope the families of Officer Robert Duran and Frank Lovato find some measure of comfort knowing that justice was served. These men's legacies will live on in the lives they touched. Lastly, y'all, this case is a sobering reminder to always be mindful and responsible behind the wheel. Whether it's reckless driving, distractions, or impaired decisions, it only takes one moment to change lives forever. If you take nothing else from this video, let it be this: driving safely is. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me through this breakdown. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case. Do you think justice was served? What did you think about Jaramillo's behavior in court? Drop your comments below and let's talk about it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime coverage and commentary. I'll see you next time. Stay safe and take care.